sideline. That's a great call, too. Playing Baker, Farmer will put it up, throws over the middle. Touchdown. Great play.
That's a way. Trying to center off with Eckerly, and he just missed the net. O'Reilly with the shot. Far down, he scored.
Come from behind for a month. Now with the lead, they're getting a little wobbly. But a downfield, they won't get it. Wow. Edwards pulls up and buries the flag. Richardson tries, out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. Daniels takes his shot for Derby.
What is up, my pitchfork lunch peeps? Welcome into Mike with Days at Hump Day. Woo woo! That's for my mama. You pitchfork lunchers know that, but welcome into Wednesday's edition of Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, that is still her favorite commercial with my name in it. I mean, obviously the old school Life commercial, the Mikey Likes It, will always probably take the cake. For those of you kids that don't know what that is, go ahead and search it on Google, YouTube, just Life cereal, Mikey Likes It. You'll get it. But I think the insurance one there definitely took over. So nonetheless, it is Wednesday. Welcome on into Pitchfork Lunch. Like I said, I am Michael Caratonito at Diablo00 on X, formerly known as the Twitter. As you guys know, you can check out Pitchfork Lunch Live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also, you can go to the wonderful world of IG, like I remind you about every day. You can go to the wonderful world of IG and check the show out. It's at michael.caratonito.5. Also, guys, I know I reminded you, but or I remind you quite often. So go to YouTube, watch live. Please do watch live on YouTube on my channel. But also subscribe to the new subscribers. Again, Forks Up. Thank you again. All this phenomenal Sun Devil content is there. So go to YouTube and watch the show live. But you can also, like I said, you can also subscribe as all you have to do is go to YouTube. As you know how to get to YouTube. But go to go to YouTube. You see my name, Michael Caratonito, but my page is at it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC 005 on YouTube, guys, and subscribe away because you have missed a plethora of phenomenal conv reviews with coaches, players, insiders, voices, alum. It is all there, guys. It is all there. So again, you're getting to that point where you're still probably have to binge watch a little bit through the start of season 3 to get all caught up. But if you go back and you watch season 1, you can watch season 1 again from maybe some of the inspiring and pseudo challenging beginnings to going onward and upward to everything. But that being said, subscribe, because by that time, then you'll have, if you go back and watch season 1 and whatever you've missed of season 2, because you guys that are here daily, obviously you've missed less and less. So Forks Up to that. But then you can binge watch whatever you haven't seen season 1, binge watch season 2. By the time season 3 starts up in August, guess what? You'll be all caught up, storylines, everything, and you'll see where we'll be rocking. And hit me up in the comments, any questions, thoughts that you have, even if you went to that school down south, but let's keep it on the up and up. Try and use all your big word vocabulary if you went to the school down south. But I appreciate your viewership again, 100%. But yeah, so go to YouTube. Again, it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC 005 on YouTube, and subscribe away, my friends, because like I said, so much is there, and you've kind of missed out on a little bit. And the interviews that are there, the interviews that are coming, you always have a way to see them. So that's always a good thing. So yes, and then also for those that are unable to watch, maybe you're driving to meet your friends for lunch. Awesome, a little workday lunch, pitchfork lunch. That's why I want you to be fed and you're eating, so you're not so you can focus on this and pay attention to the wonderful, phenomenal championship things going around Sun Devil Nation in the athletic world. So, but you can listen. All you got to do is go to the greatest internet radio station on the web, the Casual Sports Radio Network. Those of you watching, you can see scrolling across the bottom. Just go to www.ksrnaz.com Page will open up. Click listen live. Hit play Monday through Friday. Bam, forks up. There is Pitchfork Lunch. Casual E invite us into the family, like I've told you guys, to get Sun Devil content on there, amongst this other just amazing and broad coverage of. I mean, again, subscribe to their socials too. Subscribe to the KSRN socials, because Suns, Cardinals, Diamondbacks, Mercury, Diamondbacks again, another series with the Dodgers and another 4-game series. And guess what? They've split the first 2 games so far. Diamondbacks took the first one. Dodgers took the second one. Casual E, though, is in the know, has you there with that, with the Suns too, with the Mercury trying to start 2-0. Come on, but let's go. Obviously, Mercury, some former Pac-10, well, I should say Pac-12 players on the Mercury squad. So Casual E has you covered. Again, www.ksrnaz.com. Page will open up. Click listen live. Hit play Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. There's Pitchfork Lunch. While you're on there, you can catch up on the great reads about, like I said, the Suns, Diamondbacks, Cardinals, Mercury. It is all there. And I want you guys to watch. You Pitchfork Lunchers know this, but please don't watch and drive. You're Sun Devils. I know you're innovative. You're smart, a lot smarter than, that other school. So stream it through your Bluetooth. www.ksrnaz.com. Stream it through your Bluetooth. When the page opens up, click listen live, hit play. Bam, you're driving. You can listen like I listen to the radio. Everybody wins. And you get to where you're going safe, meet your friends for lunch. And when you get there, hey, you still want to listen? Cool. Obviously, it'll come off your Bluetooth. Listen on your phone as you're at lunch. You want to turn on and watch in the other avenues? Hey, rock on. Want to listen and watch on the other? Great. We will take it all. But again, so stoked. Casual E invited us into the KSRN family. Absolutely phenomenal. And again, the coverage, their shows as well too. But it is all there, my friends. All there. So, well, that being said, you guys know I got to open. I can't delay it anymore, man. It was a statistical, insane anomaly for ASU baseball today. They had to open up in the first round of the Big 12 championship. We talked about this. So they had to take on BYU, who, like I mentioned, they obviously swept earlier in the season. Well, last month, I should say, but swept BYU, and then they take them on today. Now, you want to talk about pitching, my friends. BYU just used 2 pitchers. ASU used a few more, but Ben Jacobs got the start. Took him a minute to settle in, but when he did, man, looked, again, very good. And as did Cole Carlone, had a little bit of a speed bump start, but he settled in. And then was it Sean Fitzpatrick came in, Jonah Giblin. Sean Fitzpatrick came in literally for a batter and dominated them. And then Jonah Giblin comes in and goes the rest of the way. But I'm talking about this. What did I say yesterday? I mentioned most of these guys yesterday, pitching-wise. They had 18 strikeouts. 18 strikeouts, right? They recorded 18 strikeouts out of a possible, as you guys know, 27 batters. So if you didn't see it yet or didn't see an update, which I would find it hard to believe that you didn't, the Devils, though, had the Devils had 6 hits, right? 6 hits, but did not have a runner in scoring position. I want to say what, until the 8th? Yeah, the 8th inning. Jax Ryan got to second, and that was the first time all game they had a runner in scoring position. BYU, in the meantime, again, 18 strikeouts that the Sun Devil pitchers recorded. 18. But BYU, also with runners in scoring position, was 1 for 12. Yeah. They were like 1 for 10, 1 for 11. I mean, BYU left 14 runners on base. They were, 1 for 13. 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. And bases got loaded up a few times. Again, it wasn't maybe all smooth for the pitching. When you hear 18 strikeouts, you would think it was. 1 for 13. And watching the game, and the BYU pitchers, look, hats off to them. I mean, both of them, like I said, Reiser started the game, and then Johnson came in and finished it. Reiser went 4 innings. He had 3 hits, no runs. He had 1 K, no walks. Johnson went 5 innings, also gave up 3 hits, no runs, 1 K, no walks. And he did hit 1 batter. And Reiser threw 48 pitches, 33 were strikes. Johnson threw 65 pitches, 43 were strikes. So this Devils team that had just on April 24th through 26th, swept BYU, putting up 8, 12, and 16, scored 0 runs. And yes, I know, I said, Oklahoma State, they scored 2, but then they scored 6 and 4. It's like, okay, they've been averaging 9. Yes, they're not going to get 9, like Coach Bloomquist said every game, 10, 15 runs. But, you go from – and you drop those 3, then you have to play the first day, the early morning game, and Coach, even coaching his in-game interview, if you guys didn't see it, was talking about how, it's almost a little too early for baseball. Batting practice was going on like 6:30 this morning, local time there in Arlington, which 5:30 here, guys. And he said, they practice early the last few days to get, to the first day, I'm sure was a nice little adjustment, but and even BYU's coach said the same thing, exact same thing. Like, it's a little early, and say, hey, we had the one day, we try to practice early, and we practiced, early the one day, and if they adjust, and they'll be playing the early game tomorrow. BYU will, because they won the game 2-0. Like I said, 18 strikeouts for the Devils, but they don't get a runner. They have 1 run. They get the first runner they got to second base, and there was a double play. There was 1 double play turn, I want to say. Look, runners in scoring position 1 for 13. Leadoff hitters were 2 for 9 today. Runners on third, less than 2 outs, they were 0 for 2. BYU, this is runners on bases loaded, they were 0 for 3. Advancement opportunities 5 for 22. Pinch hitting 0 for 1. Hitting versus left-handed pitchers 3 for 22. Like, this is insane. ASU was 6 for 32 against because both pitchers that BYU threw were left-handed. Yeah, ASU got into the one double play when they had a chance to get a runner a second, and then just got hitting a lot of balls in the air. Jacob Tobias gave one a very deep ride to right. I thought he was going to tie it up in the bottom of the ninth and tie it up, maybe go to extras, at least force extras. But just a teeny bit short. No errors for either team. I will say that, but defensively, again, no surprise. It was clean there. But yeah, BYU, again, they could have blown it wide open. 2-0, people are like, well, but they left 14 runners on base. Well, the pitching caused that. ASU's pitching, like I said, who had 18 strikeouts. 6 of them from Jacobs, 4 from Carlone, 1 from Fitzpatrick, the one batter he faced, and then 7 from Jonah Giblin. 18 strikeouts. They did to 8 walks. Plus 10 there. Yeah, 8 walks through 9 innings. That's giving basically a guy almost a walk-in inning, as you guys can do the simple math there. And you look at Jacobs. I mean, he threw 96 pitches, 58 were strikes. Carlone threw 46 pitches, 21 were strikes. Fitzpatrick threw his 5 pitches, but 3 were strikes. And then Giblin, again, 53 pitches, 36 of them strikes. And I mean, Cole Carlone, again, he had 5 of the 8 walks. He had 4 Ks. He did have 5 walks, though. But, I mean, Jacobs had 2 walks. Giblin, or Fitzpatrick, who, again, came in for that matchup, Blue just gassed that batter. And then so he had no walks, and then Giblin had 1. So, yeah, I mean, that was tough from Carlone because he did walk in a run, even though that was charged to Jacobs. But, yeah, I mean, Fitzpatrick, Jonah Giblin, again, just 2 hits through 2 2/3. Like I said, 7 Ks and just 1 walk, keeping them in it, giving them a chance. And BYU, again, you can't, as a coach, I know, and Coach Bloomquist, you've heard Willie say it on the show, my friends. You've heard him say it on the show in his post-game remarks. You can't constantly have to try and come back and, get the runs in the 9th, battle like that, give up the walks, the free bases. But just to give up 2 runs and all they had, I mean, again, just grit. Now, offensively, I will say it was a little tough because your 1, 2, and 3 hitters. Well, look, Walker, Hairston, and King were 4 for 11. We're 4 for 11. So again, a little bit above 333. Although Walker was 2 for 4, Hairston was 0 for 4. Matt King was 2 for 3, and he got hit by a pitch as well. So again, 4 for 11, but your 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Tobias, Kean Vu, and Brandon Compton, were a combined 1 for 12. Were a combined 1 for 12, and the 1 hit was from Brandon Compton. Like I said, Tobias gave it a ride. Kean Vu, I think he's the one that grounded into the double play. But again, and you guys, you know me, yes, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. Those guys are in those spots because what have they done? They delivered all year. If you watch the broadcast, and by the way, the awards for the Devils Oh my goodness. We'll get to those in a minute, but Matt King, who I mentioned, who was co-newcomer of the year in the Big 12, yes. But the Devils had more first-team selections and more honorable mentions than they had the most in the Big 12, which rightfully so, again, in the regular season deserved. And yes, it is a bummer that they didn't put up any runs today offensively. Just look, is it the early game? Look, Coach, and like Coach Luke was saying, they're not going to make an excuse. Yes, it's earlier, but you know you're doing it. And there's another team out there too. And they put up, like I said, 2 runs at base runners, but you don't have your first base runner on the in scoring position to get to second base until the 8th inning. Then yeah, that's guys. I'm not splitting the atom for you. Whether you play baseball or not, like you understand, like that's tough. But the flip side of that coin is the pitchers, yes, gave up 2 runs, yes, gave up base runners, but 18 Ks when it mattered, 18 strikeouts. Um, 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 $18 strikeouts to keep everybody in it. And they kept him in it. Yeah, there were base runners there, but still 18 strikeouts. And BYU, they caused BYU not to come up with those big hits. So that, my friends, is the crazy frustration about this. Yes, do I think that game started too early? Do I think it would have changed the outcome? I don't know. And I'm not making excuses because, look, what did I just say? See, again, you need to don't just listen to Jimmy. You need to hear Jimmy. And we know Billy Ray Hoyle he can only listen to Jimmy, according to his to his good friend Sydney. He can only listen to Jimmy. He'll never hear Jimmy, but hear Jimmy on this because the way they played, I mean, the way they pitched, like I said, they could. Yeah, right. You're getting a jam. But what do you do to get out of it? You strike guys out. Jonah Giblin didn't get in too much trouble, but still just plowed guys down. Looking good. So, look, I saw a lot of, I posted earlier, I think Sunday for the selection, for the postseason into regionals. Look, ASU is projected as a number 3 coming in. Do I think they would have locked up a number 3 had they won? Absolutely. Okay, so, look, Kansas and TCU are trying to host regionals. And yes, and now it's an if, a coulda, shoulda, woulda. But, had ASU beat BYU and turn around and beat U of A, even if they would have lost in the championship game, a hell of a shot to host a regional there, right? But now hosting a regional, probably not going to happen. I want to stay positive and say, hey, because, again, you got to see what happens, who wins the conference tournaments. There might be some teams. Same thing with Cincinnati, who ASU had, dropped 2 of 3 to. They same thing. They were on the bubble as well. Yeah, ASU dropped 2 or 3 to them, won, 9 to 8 and 10 innings. So, but they were on the bubble as well. And that's the thing, like, not on the bubble, they were projected a 3 seed, but yeah, you come in and you come in and you don't take care of business, then it might cost you a spot or 2, but ASU's resume is too good. You look at all their offensive numbers, and again, they were showing the stats. guys, I talked about it all year. You know their numbers. I mean, averaging over 9 runs a game, hits, just insanity with, and I'll get to that. But the offensive numbers, what I'm getting at, are huge. But they've also won. Look, I mean, when you look at, 30, well, now they're 35-22. I don't think it still count. I mean, conference tournament, it's obviously a conference game, but they're 35-22. So say that now they're 18-13 in conference because they lost this game, 26-9 at home, 9-11 away, and then 0-2 now on neutral sites. But I mean, you sweep an Ohio State, you beat an Austin Peay, you take 2 or 3 from Oral Roberts, you split with UCLA, dropped 2 or 3 to Minnesota, but you took the last one, and then you beat UNLV, and then you sweep Gonzaga, and then you drop a midweek game to that school down south in Tucson, 3-2. Then you lose to TCU 3-2, but then you turn around and beat them 26-9, 12-11. You lose to USC midweek game 6-3, but then you beat Kansas 2 out of 3, win 9-2. Then they drop the middle 1-7-3, then 1-7-6. They lose to UNLV in Vegas 11-6, but then they go to Utah and sweep Utah, who again not having a very good season, but still, what do you need to do if you're going to be looking at this elite team? You need to sweep that team. They scored 9, 7, and 18. Boom. Then they took on Cal State Fullerton and won 14-4 in 7 innings. Then they took on the school down south up here in Tempe, or in Phoenix Muni, I should say. They lost the first 2, 8-5 and 5-3. Then they took the third one, 8-4. Then they took on Cal State Northridge, and they won 20-11. They went to Cincy. Talked about those. Lost 11-7, then won 7-4, and lost 9-8-10. Lost a heartbreaker to Purdue 8-6 that next day on Monday after they took out Cincinnati. Came home for Texas Tech. Look, won the series. Took 2 out of 3, 10-4, and then 9-8. Lost the third game, 12-8. Grand Canyon, they turn around, lost 7-6. They turn around, sweep BYU, beat Long Beach State 11-1 in 8 innings, and then 17-6 in 7 innings. Lose the opener to Baylor, but then battle back and take the next 2 from Baylor. Win another series. They drop the first game to Houston, and then they take the next 2 from Houston. Win another series. Beat Grand Canyon 17-7. And they get swept by Oklahoma State. But you look at, okay, so conference series. Let's see. Yeah, TCU was their first. So, yeah, TCU was their first conference series. So they won that series. They won the Kansas series. They won Utah. They swept Utah, so that's 3. They dropped the series to U of A, so they're 3-1 there. Then they lost the series to Cincinnati, so that makes them 3-2. But then they go to 4-2 in winning series because they beat Texas Tech, and then they beat BYU, so that makes them 5-2. They beat Baylor. They won that series to make them 6-2 in series. Beat Houston to make them 7-2, and then guess what? By Oklahoma State, so they're 7-3. In series, and obviously you say games 18-12, but yeah, 10 series, there's 7-3. Yeah, we'll all take that, right? So look, I think their resume is good enough. I'll get to it in a minute. I know I carried on a little bit because again, fired up. You know how much the tradition of Sun Devil baseball in general that I love. But that being said, it's tough because I feel that they should be in. Whether they slip to a 4 seed now, we'll see. I mean, it depends on having the rest of their tournament and other tournaments. But their resume and who they played, and look, I'll get more into it tomorrow. We'll get more into it tomorrow as we see the matchups here. But again, there's other stuff I must get to today. But so yes, but I'm going to step aside, catch your baseball breath again. Do I think it'll be a teeny bit nail biting? Like I said, again, I wasn't trying to just be like over dramatic. I wasn't trying to be, lean this way and be like, oh, I'm so over dramatic. And then it's like, well, no, I'm going to lean back this way and be, no, I wasn't trying to be over dramatic. I think it'll be a little nail biting for Coach Bloomquist and the team, but but that resume, what they've done is, yeah, exactly. So, but we're going to take a break. We're going to step aside. When I get back, softball news, which is absolutely huge, track and field, men's golf. We will jump into that. And I will let you know, got an awesome Friday guest. Awesome guest coming on the show Friday. Worked out. Well, I'll give you a few hints because it's only Wednesday. Give you a few hints. But got that lined up for Friday. So, but we'll step aside again, talk a little track and field, men's golf. Track and field, men's golf, and softball as well. So, anyway, enjoy more of your lunch. Like I said, we'll step aside, have more Pitchfork Lunch coming right up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil.
KSRN has an inside track on all things sports, with topics and opinions from former players and local personalities. Catch 15-year NFL veteran Ed Smith and Jay Adams on Easy Sports Talk every Saturday.
Unfortunately, with this back and these knees, I don't quite have that ability, or at least I use.
For all things Arizona Cardinals, tune in Monday nights with Casual E and Sean McConnell.
Bird Gang, I know it was another tough loss, but keep encouraged. We miss you, BA.
And now you can exclusively listen to former Arizona Cardinal Jeremy Bridges on his show, JB and Benny Blue Review.
Exactly.
Don't be dumb.
Sending a message out to the world.
Always relaying that message. Don't be dumb.
Yes, your guy, Benny Blue, comedian extraordinaire.
Exclusively on KSRN, Casual Sports Radio Network.
This is the sound of a racing heart. It's beating a little faster because it belongs to a young child. But this child isn't in the middle of a close soccer game or playing with her puppy in the yard. Her heart is racing because she's just been told she has to move foster homes again. Change a child's story. There's a child waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org. This is the sound.
Got a big painting project you've been putting off because you don't think you can afford it? Well, it's time to call the team at Customer First Solutions. Customer First is your one-stop shop for all home repairs, from full interior and exterior painting to handyman services, drywall repair, electrical, and plumbing. Customer First has the most competitive prices in the Valley. Your flat rate quote is based on the square footage of your home, and that includes wall repair. All Customer First technicians are licensed, bonded, and fully background checked for your assurance. Call or text Customer First Solutions at 480-877-0255 for your free quote. Customer First Solutions, where our customers and their homes are our first priority.
This is the sound of a racing heart. It's beating a little faster because it belongs to a young child. But this child isn't in the middle of a close soccer game or playing with her puppy in the yard. Her heart is racing because she's just been told she has to move foster homes again. Change a child's story. There's a child waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org. This is the sound of a racing heart.
KSRN has the inside track on all things sports, with topics and opinions from former players and local personalities. Catch 15-year NFL veteran Ed Smith and Jay Adams on Easy Sports Talk every Saturday.
Unfortunately, with this back and these knees, I don't quite have that ability, or at least I use.
For all things Arizona Cardinals, tune in Monday nights with Casual E and Sean McConnell.
Bird Gang, I know it was another tough loss, but keep encouraged. We miss you, BA.
And now you can exclusively listen to former Arizona Cardinal Jeremy Bridges on his show, JB and Benny Blue Review.
Exactly.
Don't be dumb.
Sending a message out to the world.
Always laying that message. Don't be dumb.
Yes, your guy, Benny Blue, comedian extraordinaire.
Exclusively on KSRN, Casual Sports Radio Network.
You are listening to the best internet radio station on the web, KSRN, Arizona.
Yes, for those of you listening on the Casual Sports Radio Network, you know it. You are listening on the greatest internet radio station on the web. I am Michael Caristino at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as the Twitter. Check out Pitchfork Punch Live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also, my IG, michael.caristino.5, the YouTube channel, which you can watch live. But you need to subscribe when you're there. Again, forks up to the new subscribers. Much appreciated. Yeah, feel free to share, like, subscribe, but share, like, all that good stuff that you do there. But again, I want you to check it out first and foremost. So, yeah, at Emmons and Michael B is in Victory C is in Champ 005 at MVC005 on the good old YouTube. And like I said, at the Casual Sports Radio Network, you're driving around, you stream it through your Bluetooth. You're at your desk at work. You can't really watch. You got to do work, but you know you want somebody that went to that school down south to hear about championship caliber sports. You know, turn the volume up a little bit for them. You know, and they can follow along too. We welcome them in, right? Got to turn them from the dark side at some point, right? Anyway, but yeah, www.ksrnaz.com. Page will open up. Click listen live. Hit play. Bam. Pitchfork Lunch Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. So, yeah. So we hit baseball. Again, they lose 2-0 in the opening round to BYU. To BYU. And it is one and done. My apologies. I'm again so fired up. I was looking at the Pac-12 tournament brackets, but this year in the Big 12, and I knew that because I had read it. I just reverted back to the other way, going through the consolation bracket. So yeah, it is win in advance. Again, with all those teams there, I guess it makes sense because it's adding a lot of extra games. Whatever. So nonetheless, though, the unfortunate thing is. So yes, they don't even get a chance to redeem themselves. But look, they've obviously done enough. But I wanted to get to stats real quick too, because I was telling you about all their offensive numbers. Like, again, they're just consistent growing all year long. Okay, so they led the Big 12 in average by 1 point, but still 320, right? They also led the Big 12 in runs with 477, with hits 619, doubles 141 doubles, my friends. They were 11th in triples, with tied for 11th in triples with 9. They were third in home runs with 84. I mean, Kansas State hit 92, and then Kansas hit 98, but they were third with 84. They were second by 2 with RBIs, 436. Kansas had 438. Total bases, Sun Devils, first in the Big 12, 1,030. Slugging percentage, Sun Devils, 533. Base on balls, ASU walks. So ASU was 8th with 253. Kansas was first with 356. The Devils were 9th players hit by pitch. They had 68. Utah actually had 91 players hit by pitches. And then, I mean, ASU was 13th where you want to be in strikeouts. They had 353. And UCF only struck out 334 times. So, yeah, ASU wasn't striking out a ton. And like I said, got walked 253 times. So, yeah. They were second in on-base percentage by a thousandth of a point. Kansas was 412. ASU was 411. So, I mean, and stolen bases. ASU stole 113 out of 140. Kansas, or Cincinnati, actually was the only team that topped them. 120. They were 125 out of 138. So, yeah, both teams pretty good. ERA, ASU, again, 8th. But, I mean, I give you, look, all those offensive stats. I mean, you look at it. You look at batting average. Yes, ASU led the conference. Runs, ASU led the conference. Hits, ASU led the conference. Doubles, ASU led the conference. Like, it's insane. Like I said, home runs, third. So, yeah, this offense, and yeah, did it have a little bit of a speed bump? Do I think the morning game has something to do with it? Absolutely. But anyway, we move on. Softball, Kenzie Brown is back, my friends. Kenzie Brown is back. She, with graduate, and that's the thing I said, I wish she had one more year. And I went to look at, as I was looking it up, she posts, I'm staying here in Tempe. I was like, hello, what? So, yes, Sun Devil Nation, another run at it with the phenomenal just pitcher that is Kenzie Brown. She is back. So that in and of itself, absolutely huge. Yes, she already graduated, so now she gets to come back and just see what she can do with these insanely, again, her numbers to build on the insane numbers that were. Yeah, it'll be absolutely awesome. So stoked that that she is back. Again, all she did this year, I cannot say enough of just. I got to give you the numbers, meaning the strikeouts, but just the confidence going in, how the defensive youngsters grew around her, and I mean the energy that they brought. But and she talked about it. We heard at the graduation, like accountability, and that to me, like, yeah. But her leadership, what she can do on the mound, that is just awesome. That is just absolutely awesome. Um, um, so yeah, I mean, just absolutely huge. Um, Again, so stoked for her. And so stoked for this team. Again, what um and guys, I mean that's just huge because yes, Miko Lupi obviously solid there. Julian Tipton showed it. Cambry Krieger. I mean, again, just uh, only going to make the staff deeper. So, again, bummed that they're still not playing, of course, as you guys see the shirt, the homage to the shirt. Um, um, Again, but so yes, wanted to get to that. Track and field, obviously, like I told you, the men's shot put, Brandon Lloyd, this man, gigantic man. Him and Fred Mondani Lakibi are the only ones that hit over 20 meters. Lakibi went 20.28. Brandon Lloyd went 20.20, 20.20, which is 66 feet, 3.25 inches for him. And for Lakibi, it was 66 feet, 6.5 inches. So, yeah. Eugene hosted a national championships. We know that up in Eugene, Oregon, home of the Ducks. Phenomenal, beyond phenomenal facility, as we know. But yes, so Brandon Lloyd will be up there. As for other track, um, again, the 400 was ASU. By the way, hello. I know I mentioned it and said what they did in, but they won the 4x400 with a time of 3:02, a mile in 3:02.87, guys. Yeah. So it was Nicholas Ramey, Malik Franklin, Trevin Moyer, and Jaden Davis. They are headed to Oregon. So Forks up, man. Again, I can't wait. So there'll be training. Man, I gotta reach out. But yes, so they took first in the 4x4 in their and they actually won their heat because they were in heat 2 of the prelims. It was ASU, Baylor, Houston, Oklahoma State, TCU, and Texas Tech. Texas Tech, well, they didn't start. They scratched it. But ASU ran a 3:02.87. They ran the same time. That's crazy. They ran a 3:02.87 in their heat and in the finals. So yeah, that was again absolutely awesome. So Forks up to track, man. Again, they're headed to Oregon. That is awesome. But yeah, just want to say Kenzie Brown will be back. And Friday, first hint of the guest is obviously she's a Sun Devil athlete from a spring sport, one of the many spring sports. And let's see, what can I tell you? I don't know if this one give away. Her dad is the ultimate tailgater, making sure that parents and media alike are fed. No, but her dad is the ultimate tailgater. So again, just a hint, but that's not till Friday. But yeah, so look, talk a little bit more baseball tomorrow. I'll get more into track tomorrow. That I do promise. Also, men's golf, obviously, too. Stroke play is going on in women's golf. I'll give you updates on that. Unfortunately, again, the Devils aren't there, but still a phenomenal freaking season. I love, obviously, Missy Farquet being an alum, being the head coach, what this team did. I mean, both of them, like, just, again, phenomenal. The Phenomenal Five is easy. It is very easy. I gave him that nickname earlier. I haven't really broadcast that one, but yeah, the Phenomenal Five, because they are. The Sun Devils obviously puts it up there, and there's the 5 of them. So yeah, very, very, again, bummed that not in stroke play, but man, a hell of a season. And there's a lot of juice coming back next year. So I'm still going to try and get that trip to Hawaii. I gotta reach out to Coach and be like, hey, what bags can I carry? What can I do to bring that mojo to Hawaii with you? If they are playing in it again, their schedule might rotate, so we shall see. But have a phenomenal rest of your Wednesday. Again, I know baseball, Sun Devil baseball lovers, just like me, a little bit of nail biting on Sunday, but we'll get to it. We'll get through it. Results, all that good stuff. But yeah, this baseball team, so very, again, you strike out 18, not many games teams are going to lose when you strike out 18 and 27 batters. Unless the other 9 hit home runs. I know it's being ridiculous. But anyway, have a phenomenal rest of your Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. And like reigning Big 12 champions, women's volleyball reminded me, hashtag our state, because it is, hashtag our state. A phenomenal rest of your day. You guys know it. As always, Forks up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a Great call, too. Play fake. Farmer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Touchdown. Quick play.
That's away. McNapadoy trying to center off with Eckerly, and he just missed the net. O'Reilly with the shot. Ford down. He scored.
From behind for a month. Now with the lead, they're getting a little wobbly. Philadelphia, they won't get him. Wow.
Edwards pulls off and buries the flag.
Her three right on the money. Daniels takes his shot for